Welcome back inside Patti Finnegan's, everybody, on the campus of Oakland University. It is the Greg Kampe Show. Of course, he is the coach, Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule. Bobby Ellman back in our Odyssey studios. In Camp, the order of the day, you see it out there in front of you. Happy birthday, Camp.
Yeah, thank you. Little taken back by this. Very nice of everyone. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You get involved with the show on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. Just send a tweet or an X post with the hashtag AskCampe. Those have been lining up all day long as they do. Obviously, lots of birthday stuff in there for you, Camp. Trip down memory lane as well, all of it. But the bottom line, Camp, the weather's cold outside, obviously.
Yeah,
but this basketball team's hot.
Well, if you like points, we're hot. You know, we can really score the basketball. We've got a lot of really, really good players. Michael's here tonight. He'll talk to you. And, I got to give my staff a ton of credit. Jeff Smith probably spent more money than we've ever spent last year in recruiting and probably logged more miles than he's ever logged. And he did just an unbelievable job in recruiting. And Bobby and Trey and Colin doesn't get enough pats on the back either. Colin does just an unbelievable job for us. I have a tremendous staff, and because of that, we're winning.
Speaking of winning, though, Camp, you talked about it. Just an electric game, Camp, an instant classic over the weekend against Toledo. Just a ton of fun to be around, a ton of fun for everybody to watch it, but a 98-97 win that was stacked on top, obviously, of a Horizon League win over Purdue Fort Wayne on Wednesday. But some very, very fun basketball at the arena this week.
Yeah, it was, the Toledo game, I think, was one of the, from a coaching standpoint, was one of the few times, the game was so fast that there's not a lot of time to get mad at anybody or correct or teach in that game. And from a coaching standpoint, I haven't said anything to Smitty or any of the other guys about it yet, but that was one of the few times that during a game, I was like a fan. I was just locked into, there was a time, I think Jeff said something to me about, a couple bad shots we took, but leading to easy baskets. But that was just the pace of the game, and kind of wanted that a little bit because we're really good when it's up and down. We don't want to give up baskets, but we do kind of want the other team to score a little bit because we want that pace. But that game ended, and I was like, that's one of the best games I've ever been involved in. It just from the level of play, but not so. I mean, obviously, when we beat Power Fives like the Kentucky game, that the level of play is top notch, as good as anybody in the country. And I don't think anybody's going to say that about that game unless you were there watching it. Toledo's guys played extremely well. Also, that game, there were 200 points scored in that game and only 10 threes made. And I don't know if that's ever been done before. Usually when there's that many points, people are bombing threes. There were only 10 threes made. That was how good the execution by both teams was. That was how good transition was. And somebody said to me, yeah, but you're deep. No, I can show you on the film. We did a lot of really good things defensively. But when the game's that fast, it just puts pressure on people. And they made plays. They shot. Many of the shots they took, we wanted them to take, and they made them. And it was just a great basketball game, and it was, I'm glad we won it. It was cool to see the arena hopping again, So, we kind of called people out, and, usually when a coach does that, he gets really crucified, and I did a little bit, but I guess because I'm 70 now and I'm old and people don't want to criticize me anymore as much, but our kids came, our students came. A lot of the students were athletes too, and the athletes came and supported us. And watching our players go up into the crowd, that for me is that is the best thing you could see. To see that the fans embrace them and our guys hugging them and people just what a game, what a game. And I hope it brings people back, but it makes our players feel the things we told them when we recruited them, how special of a place Oakland is. And I think Mike might talk about it, but I know Brody Robinson, I know he's never been treated like that before in his life. And They were pretty pumped when we got in the locker room afterwards. Sure about the win, but in reality, that's not a league game. That's just a rivalry game against a team that has a bunch of Michigan kids, and we won it, and it was just a fantastic feeling.
Well, Camp, you brought it up. That's a great segue. Brody Robinson, by the way, a little bit of breaking news, named the Under Armour Horizon League Men's Basketball Player of the Week for the second straight week for Brody Robinson. So certainly, absolutely. Great job done by him. Great team effort as well.
Yeah, and it's great that he got that, but there could have, Michael could have been Player of the Week both weeks, or both weeks he could have been. Isaac could have been player. We've just and we're a lot of those guys are going to be it if they continue playing the way they're playing. It's just a lot of guys making a lot of plays, and Zaire was. I got in the locker room after the game and I was talking to the team. I couldn't remember who made the final basket. Honest to God, I didn't even bring it up. I didn't even say anything. Hey, Zaire, wait, I didn't. When we were talking about some of the great plays made. But I'm going to tell you something. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but the guy sitting right there, he made the play that, unless you watched the film, or I kind of saw it when it happened. I was worried he was going to get called for foul because sometimes officiating, it does things like that, But Brody had gone down, and Brody makes very few mistakes. And the possession before, it was going back and forth. He made an error. He made a bad decision, got caught in the air, and tried to make a great play and threw it away. We went down and got a stop. And that's how you judge your defense. Can you get the stop when the game's on the line? And we got the stop. And then we came down, and I have a buddy who's an ex-basketball coach. He's now an assistant athletic director at a Power 5 school. And he watched the last 10 minutes game, and he called me on the phone. He goes, "Did you think about calling timeout?" And I said, "No, I got Brody Robinson." He goes, "Well, he just turned it over the time before." And I said, "I got Brody Robinson." And the next possession, Brody came down with it, made the same play, the same set, and instead of doing something goofy, trying to win the game, he picked his dribble up, he found Zaire, and that guy knows Zaire wants to go left, and he cleared the whole... he just went in there and physically cleared out the lane, and Zaire went right down the left side for the basket. And he didn't get an assist for that, but the coaching staff knows what he did, and the players knew what he did. And he'll never, Joe Average or whatever would never know that, but we know it, and that's why we win. Because even though Brody's this and this, it's all the guys around that are doing it, and they really like each other. They really play for each other, and when we have teams like that, we win.
And Kent, backing up that point, and that's what I was going to talk about with Brody. It's 17 assists between the two games. So somebody scores those baskets. You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, but we had...
Backing up into what you talked about.
We play dribble drive offense. And, that means we do a lot of dribbling. And we try and recruit players that can do that and get to... The reason we play it is we like to win because of free throw differential. And when you drive the basketball, you're going to get fouled a lot more than when you just fire up threes, right? And... we had 44 assists in those two games last week. Now, Brody had 17 of them, but we had 30, do the math, 29? 20. Come on, man. I'm a journalism major. I can't do math. Whatever, 20, a high 20-some assists that he didn't make. So there were a lot of assists made, and I'm not down. Brody's fan. Like I said, I have Brody Robinson, right? But we really, really played good offense, and it was multiple people getting us. Isaac Garrett had 5 assists and no turnovers on Saturday. We talked last week about what a great passer, so we had guys just making the right, smart plays. We turned the ball over. There were 78 possessions in that game. We turned the ball over 5 times.
Camp, that's a thing now, right? It's not a good run of play. It's not a cute little stat over 2 weeks. This has been from game 1 against Michigan all the way to today. When I'm doing the broadcast and I look down and I'm giving the stats at halftime and in the post game, there's been a lot of times that's been single-digit number as far as turnovers. And as the Philadelphia Eagles found out last night, the bad way, if you don't turn the ball over, you win games in any sport. If you don't turn the ball over, you win games.
Right, and that quarterback turned it over twice on one play.
On one play?
Yeah, it's a record. But that, and we know that, and it's a point of emphasis for us. But you also have players that are talented, but they have to be smart too, and they have to understand their limitations. And when I say limitations, it's not, Mike could go get a basket almost any possession, but that's not going to win for us. He's got to pick and choose his spots, and when he feels the double, kick it out. And when we do things, and this team's really, really, we're way above the learning curve on offense. Got a long way to go on defense, but we're really above the learning curve on offense. And that's why, again, I talked last week about our stats against, we're still the net number one ranked schedule, the hardest schedule in the country, and that's not going to change because we've got Northern Iowa, Northern Kentucky, and Michigan State the next 3 games. And Northern Iowa is a quad 1 team, and Michigan State's a quad 1 team also. So we'll have played 6 quad 1 teams by the time Christmas gets here. And to only be averaging 9 or 9.5 turnovers a game is just...
It's borderline ridiculous, Cam. It is. It's
really good.
You don't see that. You absolutely do not see that.
And we're still making more free throws than our opponents are shooting. And, all those key little stats that are important to the way we do things are really, really, trending in the up. We got to rebound a little better. I think we can be a great offensive team. We haven't quite figured that part of it out yet. And I think part of it is because our offense is so spread out. A lot of our guys are used to playing in programs where they're by the basket. And if you look at us offensively, we don't have people by the basket. We're spreading the floor so that we can, get into our stuff. And we've got, Will Hudson is the name of the past. He played the corner where Baru and Mike are in that offense, and Will led the country in offensive rebounding, but we didn't let Will do much else. So he knew when he wasn't going to get many shots. So when somebody shot, he knew he had to run in there and fetch it, right?
It's the only way he's going to get a shot, right?
Right. So, but once we figure that out, I think we have a chance to be even a greater offensive rebounding team than we've shown. And we got to get better defensively. The Toledo game, our grades were really bad in rebounding. We graded out at 65%, and that's, we want to be between 85 and 90. Those are things you can look at. You still win the game, and you can look at, and guys, they'll listen to you because you win.
So I looked it up, Camp. According to KenPom, Oakland is 13th in the nation in fewest turnovers in terms of percentage of possessions and stuff like that. 13th in the country.
But you got to understand, most of those teams that are 12, 11, 10, they're not playing who we're playing,
exactly.
Right? If we played Defiance every game, we would lead the nation in points, no turnovers, rebound,
right.
All that kind of stuff. It's the stats that you really want to look at the end of the year are your league stats, because everybody in the league plays the same schedule, okay? And so you play the same, you play 10 games at home, 10 games on the road, and the same teams. That's where you're comparative. That's where you say, and you look at and say, okay. And our analytic, we pay money for an analytic company, which I'm very grateful to Steve and to Aura and to the administration that allowed me to do that, because that's something that our coaching staff really, really live on analytics, and we always have. And we've got these people now. I can tell you what our best defensive team is, what our best this team is, which team turns it over. We have all those stats. And when we compare ourselves, when we talk about game goals, we want to have an offense of efficiency rating that would be at the top of our league. We don't worry about the country. We worry about, okay, we're averaging 1.2 points per possession, which by far and away is top of the league. And that's what we're aiming to be, because those are the games we have to win. Those are the games that, are going to send us to an NCAA tournament. And so all that statistical data that comes flying through is based on our league play. And so I don't even look at that kind of stuff now, because our schedule versus 7 or 8 other teams in the league is, it's not comparable. We do things a little bit differently here and we can, because this is the way we believe, right? That doesn't mean we're right. It's just the way we believe.
Camp, obviously backing up to Wednesday as well, the big game of the week, the Horizon League victory over Purdue Fort Wayne. That was in the mold of the Toledo game, I guess you could say, where it was a shootout. You got the feeling that whoever had the basketball last, was going to be the team that won. Just kind of your thoughts on that. You're 1-0 in league play.
We had an 18-point lead with 6 minutes to go.
I know, but I'm saying it had
they could have had the basketball 7 times last time.
Yes, Cam. In the end, you made the plays when
they cut it to 6.
Yeah, and then in the end, you got your separation. So, just kind of your thoughts on that, Cam.
Well, I think as fans, if you weren't here in the Keith Benson, Kay Felder era, that the early Horizon League, late Summit League, you are not used to seeing this style of play. And the people that were here then are remembering that these games are played in spurts. When you play at this pace, there's going to be 12-point spurts, 10 points, and you're going to give those up too, because we're going to go down and we're going to score 5 straight possessions and make a couple threes, and so the other team's going to do that too. So you have to get stops at critical times. You have to be able to stop spurts. You have to be able to offensively not turn it over to make sure you're getting those shots and understand. I think the Fort Wayne game, another friend of mine, who's the radio announcer for Toledo, he used to be an assistant coach for me here a long time ago, and I called him before the Toledo game to just talk to him about the game and that, and he said, I watched your Fort Wayne game, and every time they made a play, you made a 3. Every time, he said, every time it looked like they were going to make a run, you came down and made it. Isaac Garrett made it, from the corner, which was one of those, great shot,
Yes.
What are you doing? Oh, great shot. So, that's just the way it's going to be this year. You're going to see spurts. There's going to be a home game that we fall behind 24-12 or 24-8. And no. And it'll be 30-30 within 5 minutes. I mean, it's just, or we're going to be ahead 28-12, and it's going to be 30-30. And it's just the way it's going to be if we're going to play at this pace.
All right, Camp, let's do this, and let's take the first break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Mike Hogue up here at Patti Finnegan's. If you have some questions for Camp, get them on X, get them on Twitter, whatever you call it, with the hashtag AskCampy. We will get to those coming up after we talk to Mike Hogue. This is the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at Patti Finnegan's on the campus of Oakland University.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead, with a $100 welcome offer.
Always is. And as we usually do at this time on this show, we sit down and we wrap with a couple of the players. Today it is Mike Hogue that is sitting down with us. And Mike, appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks for coming out. How you doing, man? This team's on a roll right now.
Good, man. I appreciate you for having me. Yeah, we are rolling. It's good.
Mike, you made your season debut in the Eastern game. And, while the result wasn't what you wanted it to be or what we all wanted it to be, I saw another element of this basketball team that night when you were out there on the floor. I kind of described your game like this, Mike. traveling around with you, and you have a way about you when we're walking through an airport or you're sitting on a chair or whatever. You're very laid back. You're very chill. When you step between those four lines, it's like there's a different Mike Hogue that just kind of starts. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
How does that work? How do you pull that off?
I mean, I really am just like a regular guy. I like to do do regular things like play video games, hang out with the guys, watch a game. Big Lions fan. Just
got the Tigers hat on today.
Yeah. Just like being, just chilling. But I'm an ultimate competitor. I think that's like one of my best attribute that I can bring to a team is just being a leader, an ultra competitor. As soon as I step in between the lines, no matter what's going on, and I'll do anything to win.
This front court on this team out there with you, with IG, with Rue, this is a very, very dangerous front court. And my impression of it, as I've seen it play out in games, is you guys start the game, you get things going, and Camp kind of has the free flow where he can take IG out and leave you and Rue out there, and then can put IG in and pull you out, and then put you back in, and then Rue can sit out. It's like the front court is a threat the entire basketball game. Like there's not a, quote, second unit out there for the front court. There's always a couple of you out there. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to me because nothing, like the offense stays the same. Like there's not, I mean, you have your little wrinkles and everything that you do that's personnel dependent.
Yeah.
But you guys can just keep it pushing, huh?
Yeah, it's extremely fun to play alongside Baru and IG because a lot of the times, I don't know, I mean, teams will switch it up, but somebody has a mismatch, especially in the Horizon League. I think we'll have a mismatch with all three of us on the court almost every time down the court. So it's just a matter of, waiting. It might be IG's turn for 5 minutes, then Baru for the next three plays, then I get my stretch. So it's just cool to be able to play off of each other and, kind of have that dynamic with each other and be able to attack that way.
Mike, what was your path to Oakland? Last year you transferred in from Jacksonville State. You were at St. Peter's before that. Talk about your path to Oakland. What brought you here?
For my last year, I kind of just wanted to get a little bit closer to home. Home for me is Tennessee, but as well as I'm originally from Michigan, from Detroit, on East Side, 7 Mile. And, I've always played either up north, like Jersey, New York area, or down south. So I've never really been in, like, the Midwest where I could be in front of, like, all my cousins, aunts, uncles, just being around them for a while. So that went into it a lot. And then on the basketball side of things, we know the track record of guys who've came through here. Kampe's a great coach, and he showed me and laid it out, the plan that he had for me, and it was kind of a hard thing to turn down.
Detroit's been very good to Oakland basketball. When you look at the rafters up there in the arena, there's a very, very strong Detroit lineage with the program. What kind of was there an adjustment for you to get used to Kampe style? And I'll say that people that come transfer in here, what we do offensively sometimes can take a minute. Certainly for guards, though you wouldn't know it by the way Brody's playing. Certainly you wouldn't know it by the way that you've kind of stepped in and have scored the basketball at a very aggressive pace in terms of minutes that you've played. Mm-hmm. What was that transition process, that feeling out process of playing for Coach Kampe?
I've played for some pretty tough coaches.
That's a nice way to put it, Mike. Yeah.
I played for some pretty tough coaches, and just from a fiery aspect, I'm right there with you. He's a winner. I'm a winner. I've competed for a championship and won a championship at both of the other schools that I've been at. So just him expecting a certain level out of me. That's easy to adjust to. The way this coaching style was easy for me to adjust to, and then kind of the offense was kind of more suited for me in a way than it has been some other places. So it kind of was like an easy transition. Like it kind of, the things that we want me to do are things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So it was an easy transition, especially when you have guys that are really good like we have around us. It makes it pretty smooth.
Talking with Mike Hogue here on the Greg Kampe Show. So let us know about Mike Hogue off the floor. Like I said, you give off kind of like a very chill personality. What do you like off the floor?
Off the floor, I like to bowl. I'm the best bowler on the team.
We've heard that before from people on the Oakland basketball team, and that wasn't the case. No, you're talking like for real.
No, it's not, we have the stats. I got the pictures, everything we can show. But Brody's a close second, and then I don't know who falls behind after that. But
so you're only concerned with the top. You're saying.
Yeah.
Colin, are we able to cross-reference this? You don't? Okay, he doesn't know. Okay, he said he doesn't know. But we've heard that from people before. You know, Camp will probably get up here and talk about it, but we'll see. Maybe when we get out there sometime this season, you'll have to back it up.
I can back it up for sure.
Okay, he's doubling down. All right, I like it, man. You're very, very confident dude, man. Like I said, roommates on the road. Got any good roommate story, teammate story, anything like that?
Warren is my usual roommate on the road. He's come from the same club, just a really laid back, chill, funny guy. But Isaac is actually my roommate, like
living here.
Yeah, day to day. So it's like a good dynamic between us because we're really different, but the same in a lot of ways. And you wouldn't expect like knowing him and knowing me that we would be so cool, but we're cool as can be. You know, we both like to cook. He comes,
really?
Yeah. We both like to cook often. We chop it up about hoops all the time. He teaches me a little bit about some of the hunting stuff.
Yeah,
and I know a little bit more than most of the other people on the team because I lived in the South for a little bit. So
that is true.
Yeah, so we kind of bond off that. We've actually went on a fishing charter for a smallmouth on Lake St. Clair before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm into fishing.
Yeah, okay, that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So if you're having Coach Camp over to the place for dinner, what's on the Mike Hogue menu?
Ooh. So recently, probably like 2 weeks ago, I just made some white chicken chili.
Okay, I like that.
Great meal for the weather. It's the perfect time for it. So I'll probably throw that on.
Yeah?
Yep. Get you some crackers, tortilla chips to eat it with.
All right, so that I know he's a big chili guy, so that would definitely hit. Mike, before we let you go, it's funny you brought that up with UNIG, and you know it just kind of works. That plays over. If you're watching this team play, it seems like that plays over into your basketball. Does it feel like it all just fits?
Yeah. I mean, it's not just with IG neither. Like we have, after a game, we're hanging out at each other's place, going to do something. Like we have a really good camaraderie with this group of guys. I think we gelled instantly. You know, sometimes like especially with the days we're in now, where you got a lot of guys coming in, you don't have a whole lot of returners. It takes a while to gel like that. But I think from the summer, we had a group of guys who all embraced each other pretty quick. So it's good, and it definitely carries over to the court.
I remember Blake Lampman talked about that the year that went to the tournament and beat Kentucky, and that was kind of his thing. He said, we love each other more. Mm-hmm. Is that like a battle cry?
Yeah,
for sure. Did you see that with this team as well?
I definitely can see it. And as we keep on going through battles together and keep on stacking good days, stacking wins, going on road trips, getting wins, is just building us and getting us better.
Well, Mike, I know I speak for a lot of people here in this room, a lot of people that are in that arena. We're glad you're here, my friend. So thanks for pulling up to the Greg Kampe Show. Mike Hogue, everybody. We will take a break, come back. It's the Ask Kampe portion of the show. Get on X with the hashtag Ask Kampe. This is the Greg Kampe Show live at Patti Finnegan's.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room. 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room. 2% back
Up
on...
against any of them in the state of Michigan here at the Oakland Golf and Learning Center. He is the coach, Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you with us. And Camp, welcome back. Are you ready to rock the Q&A on X?
Yeah, before we go, two things. One, I got the beef venison jerky from Isaac yesterday.
That was a question on X.
Yeah, I got it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Didn't have cheese in it, though. I told him, where's my cheese? But it's still really good. Jalapeno sticks with venison. So,
yeah.
Knowing that he killed it and did all that, I'm not sure, if that made it taste better or not. I don't know. But it just knowing that he gave it to me made it, but still think about Bambi,
But you said it tasted good.
It did.
Okay. All right. You ready to rock, Camp?
No, there's one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Patti Finnegan, up there, who this is named after, right? I want people to know she, in the last years of her life, I would get emails from her after games all the time. She stayed involved. She stayed in it. She would give me a couple pointers on what we should be doing. And
did they work, Camp?
Yeah, I did everything she said. But just seeing her up there made me think of that. So it's cool that we're here on campus and everything. And I thought people would want to know that. All right, I'm ready.
All right. MD Fun 89, who's in the house here tonight. Hashtag
Eating
Ask
nachos.
Candy. Yes, that's a staple, no doubt. Happy 70th birthday to you, Camp. Shout out to Tony Paul for reminding us where Isaac Garrett's venison sticks worthy of enjoyment.
Yep. Well, we beat that question already.
Yep,
so
we did.
You guys knew about this because of Tony Paul?
It helped contribute to it, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
We have a secondary question about Tony Paul's tweet, which featured you in your younger days. It's the one that goes around to everybody.
I've been getting texts all day about that.
Yeah. Matt, who enjoys Horizon League basketball. Camp, do you remember this photo being taken? What was going through your mind during it? And for those that don't know, it's Camp, like, in a younger state, kind of leaning up against a tree, looking pretty sharp.
Well, I was on my way to the disco.
Really? I never would have known that, Camp.
Yeah. The only thing that's missing is one of those bulbs that came, right? What was I thinking? I was thinking I got to get to football practice, and the basketball team wanted me to get this picture taken. I had to get dressed up, and when that picture was taken, we were playing Miami of Ohio. Both teams were nationally ranked, and my football coach was not happy that I wasn't there at practice because I had to take that picture for the media guide for basketball. So my whole thought process was get this picture done and get to practice.
All right. Wesley V on X with the hashtag AskCampy. Is the upcoming Northern Iowa game a part of a home-and-home series where we would see them at the arena next year?
Yes, it is, and that'll be a great, having the Missouri Valley preseason, pick to win the league I don't know if they will be next year, but there's a basketball coach at Oakland named a women's basketball coach named Bob Taylor from years and years ago, and his son signed with Northern Iowa. He was a really, really good player in the state, and Northern Iowa called me and said, we want to bring him home and play a game. Would you play us a home and home? And I said yes, and right now I wish I had done it because, I just, we need to play somebody right now that, isn't quad one or something like that. So we're going right in, and then we got them and Northern Kentucky and State, so, it's one after another. We just got to keep battling through it and getting better in that. But it is. They'll be here next year.
Camp, have we played in terms of, we are playing mid-major powerhouses, like in Montana, Toledo, 4 consecutive MAC championships, Northern Iowa. Their coaches beat the number 1 team in the nation twice, North Carolina and Kansas.
No, they had a heck of a run in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, and it would have been better, but I think they blew a 17-point lead in the last 2 minutes or something of the game. You would remember that. You would have watched that game because it was like one of the greatest comebacks ever in NCAA tournament history. So he's very good, and they're very good, and it's going to be a really, really difficult game. But we'll be there. We'll compete.
100%. Is this a big a stretch of mid-major opposition as you
play? Probably. Over the time, we've won our mid-major non-conference games at about 75 to 80%. So, what's going on?
They're bringing out cupcakes to everybody for your birthday, Camp. So there you go. Shout out Patti Finnegan. Yeah. Wow. And the people are happy because they're getting cupcakes. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. Cupcake always puts a smile on your face, doesn't it, Camp? Like, how can it not?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, basketball. Jump in on X with the hashtag AskCampy. We're rifling through these questions right now. Matt also asked with hashtag AskCampy. Only needs to be asked if not addressed earlier. It was not. What is the status of Nassim after his injury on Saturday?
At 5 o'clock today, he had an MRI, and I'm waiting to hear. Smitty, have you heard anything? He's not even listening to me. So. Okay. Have you heard anything on Nassim? The MRI was at 5:30. It's all in. Tomorrow morning before we hear. Yeah. So. He's going to miss some time. We're hoping that it's just a strained, I think it's medial collateral.
MCL.
Again, I'm a journalism major, so I wouldn't really know what all that is. I know I used to have them, but I don't have any of those anymore because both my knees are fake. So, but yeah, it's going to be some time. We're hoping that it's just a strain in 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but. We'll know tomorrow morning.
Gary Gilbert, who's here now, speaking of journalism, my journalism professor here at Oakland when I graduated. Coach, you didn't call timeout with the ball in 20 seconds to play against Toledo. You trust these guys?
Very much, very much. Well, I spoke to it earlier. Why would you when you have a guy like him and you have all these guys that can make plays, right? And why would you let a team set their defense and I really didn't want to live with making a call that, and then it didn't work. So I'd rather let them play, right? I mean, the thing we wanted to get down the floor, get a shot up, because I got Mike could go get the rebound if it was missed. Brew, Isaac, Zaire, they all have that ability to go rebound. So you didn't want to call timeout, take the time down, and then you only got 7 or 8 seconds left. Now, we left too much time. We scored right away, but I'm okay with that. If you're going to be a championship team, you got to get stops. Stops win games. You win games more with stops than you do with, making a shot. And so we were ahead with 10 seconds to go, and that's way better than being behind with 10 seconds to go.
Golden Grizzlies fan on X, hashtag AskCampy. Any schedule updates for next year that we can look forward to? Love the schedule, man.
Yeah, I talked about this a lot last year, and what I said last year is going to play out. We are going to play. We're going to use it as a way to supplement our NIL, or it's not really NIL. it's called revenue share now, but the fans know it as NIL, and so I just keep talking about, the ability to get players here. Like, for example, Mike just said all those great things about why I came here, but, there was a financial part of it that got him to come here, right? And Mike was an unbelievable negotiator, man. I mean, we had a number way less a long time ago, and it got to be a lot higher, didn't it, Mike? I say that because it's the reality of it.
Right.
And I'm damn glad it did get a lot higher because he's here. Correct. And look what he's doing for us, right? But how are we going to do that? And one of the ways that our administration and I have come to an agreement with is that, we're going to be able to help. That's not going to be the only thing, but it's going to help us be able to raise money to, put towards players. And so, right now, I can tell you we're going to Oregon, we're going to Stanford, we got Michigan State at Breslin. Purdue. I think we have Purdue again.
Michigan again?
We have a verbal there, but it hasn't been signed. And I don't know because it was supposed to be at Little Caesars, and I just don't know how that's going to play out. Because anytime you're dealing with a Power 5 at a neutral site, that can change based on TV, based on somebody coming in and saying, no, don't play Oakland, play Baylor. That happened to us a couple of years ago. So those are all moving parts, but we're going to play a lot of those. And then, we're looking. It's really hard for us to get games. We know that. We've talked about it. Jeff Smith could play his voicemail to you. I could play my voicemail to you, and you would be shocked at some of the things that are said to us. And a lot of it is they don't want to play against the zone. And it's not because, who knows whose roster's what next year. And but they don't want to play against the zone. They don't want to play Oakland. They don't, And so it's a battle. It's probably the hardest thing that we do. It's harder than recruiting. It's probably the hardest thing we do is schedule, and it's the most moving parts everywhere. And, oh, yeah, we'll play you, but we'll only play you on this date. The night before we have a league game, so we finally get somebody to pay us and play us, but we can't do it because we're playing a December league game that day or the day before. So there's all kinds of things that are going into it. It won't be done until late in the summer. We do have, I think, 3 or 4 contracts signed for those games. I think Oregon signed. I think Stanford signed. I know Michigan State is signed. So we'll see. We're going to play some really good teams, though.
Gary McCarrick on.
And we have Northern Iowa at home.
And Northern Iowa at home, correct.
And we're at Toledo. I know those for sure.
Hashtag Ask Kampe. We love to see these mid-major games that you schedule out of conference, Eastern, Toledo, Northern Iowa, etc. Is this what the schedule will look like moving forward along with more Power 5 games?
Yes, except, see, Northern Iowa has trouble scheduling, right? So that's why they called me, and they want to bring the kid here and all that. But they have trouble scheduling. And so Montana had a real hard time scheduling because of what Montana's done. And so that's what you gravitate to, and those are the types of games you're going to get. The lottery is almost $1 billion, and I'm going to buy a ticket tomorrow, and if I win it, you're going to see we'll have a lot of guaranteed games here that we'll be paying. Because I'm going to go to Steve and give him $1 million and say, Steve, get me 5 games. All right? Trust me, I would. And Mike's negotiation, when Mike would come and give me a number, and I'll give you another $1 million.
Write that down, Mike. I'll get you the audio on that. So Mike, I'll send it over. Yeah.
Hopefully, I win that lottery tomorrow. I mean, I have a pretty good chance, don't I?
I think, yeah. You got a ticket, right?
Not yet, but I will buy.
All right. Well, yeah, you got to get a ticket, Camp. That helps you to win. What school would you buy first? What game would you buy first?
That's a good question. We'll get anybody we want because we'll give them whatever they want. I'm up $1 billion. I mean, geez. What's the highest anybody's ever got for a guarantee game? We'll double it. So I'll go to Steve and say, who do you want? We'll get Ohio State here, Steve.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get No, we won't get Michigan State. They won't play us here. Little Caesars.
All right, got it. I think that's it. I think we got to them all this week, Camp. Good job.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Good job. All right, let's do this. Let's take the final break. We'll talk about next week, leading up to the holiday and everything like that. We'll be back with more of the Greg Kampe Show. We're live at Patti Finnegan's on the Oakland University campus.
In every moment, in every shared smile, OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card is there, earning 3% cash back on groceries to stock their dorm room, 2% back on fueling up the tank for the journey ahead. With a $100 welcome offer and the first year's annual fee waived, it's more than just a card. It's your partner in making every moment count, even the ones that tug at your heartstrings. Make every moment and every mile more rewarding with an OU Credit Union Visa Signature Card.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Inside Patti Finnegan's here on the campus of Oakland University. It's a Greg Kampe Show. He is a Coach Greg Kampe. My name is Neil Rule. Bobby Ellman back in our Odyssey studios, 1270 AM, the Bet 97.1 HD3, and on the Odyssey app, your home for Golden Grizzlies basketball.
Can I say damn on the air?
Yeah.
Damn, this cupcake's good.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really good. Who made them?
Nick Mumford, everybody.
Wow, Nick.
Yeah.
You didn't make him, your wife made him. Yeah, okay. All right. Tell her. Yeah, tell her thank you. That really good.
Nick, you got to hold on tighter than that, man. Say, yeah, that was me, absolutely. Camp this week, obviously, finals week, getting that handled, and Northern Iowa on Saturday night. Look, we've talked about it. One of the mid-major powerhouses, one of the Missouri Valley powerhouses. You see them every March. They're on CBS, usually in the mix in the NCAA tournament. Usually has a blue blood on the ropes, multiple number one victories, Kansas, North Carolina, everything. They are a powerhouse, Camp.
Yeah, they're good. What do you think, Mike? We'll be there, right?
Yeah.
We'll show up.
What's it going to take, Camp? Get the win there.
Can't turn the ball over. Got to rebound. We got to make shots. You know, it's one of those games that we have to do what we do. It'll be hard to beat them if we shoot in the 30s. If we shoot in the 50s like we do normally, we'll be there. They're not a tremendously athletic team in that defensively, while they're hard-nosed, and that they're not Houston, but nobody really is Houston. And Houston's the only team that's been able to really, keep us. I think 78's the least we've scored other than the Houston game. So I think we'll be able to score the ball against them. They want to slow the pace down. They want to shoot the three. They're very similar to Montana in that, they're going to kick out, but they also have bigs that can score. And they're a really well-rounded, good basketball team. And we're going to have to play well. If we do, it will come down to the buzzer.
Camp, 3 of the first league games are on the road. Obviously open up with Purdue-Fort Wayne here, but as you talked about, next week at Northern Kentucky, then over right before New Year into New Year's Day at Wright State, at Youngstown State. And then at the end of the Horizon League schedule, 3 of 4 at home at the arena. Is that the way you would prefer it, Camp?
Well, we're playing traditionally, the two of the, I think if you look at the league over the decade and so we've been in it, the traditional teams that are really good are Oakland, Northern Kentucky, Wright State, right? And we start with Northern Kentucky and Wright State. And then we play Youngstown on the road. It's three, and Youngstown is kind of the new, they and Robert Morris are the new kid on the block. Youngstown and Robert Morris have both put a lot of money into their programs and into the NIL or the revenue share, and have gone out and purchased rosters. And Youngstown's, this is the last three years they've been one of the traditional teams that are fighting for the championship. So then we've got Northern Kentucky, right, and then we go to them, and then we come home, and who do we have? We have the team that won it last year, Robert Morris, who beat us in overtime in the tournament. So we're going to know. I mean, at those first 4 games, we're going to, if we can hold our own in those first 4 games, it'd be nice, especially as well as we're playing at home, to come down the stretch, put ourselves in position. And that's like we talked about last week with Clarence hurdles, right? You just can't knock too many down early. You got to clear a few early, and then going down the stretch what you got to do to win it. And we're going to have 3 of our last 4 at home, and that'd be kind of cool to have full houses, and the excitement that we had in the arena, and back in the day when we filled that up in January and February, when we were filling it every game. Back in those days. On Thursday, it was packed with students, and on Saturday, it was packed with townspeople. Right. It was kind of a weird dynamic, but you always knew there weren't going to be a lot of students there on Saturday, but everybody in the town was going to be there. And so, if we can get back to those days, we should be in a really good position. 2 years ago, we played Fort Wayne in the conference tournament on a Tuesday night. Nobody knew the game was going to happen, and that's the picture that's hanging in the practice facility, because the place was packed and full, and Townsend's team, we won it and went on and won everything, won a game in the tournament. It was all fostered by that crowd on that Wednesday where nobody thought anybody was going to show up, and it was packed. And we found a way to beat Fort Wayne, and then we went to the tournament and won, and we found a way to beat Kentucky. You never know what a crowd can do for you. So when I was bitching and complaining, that's the reason why, and the results were great. I mean, we don't win Saturday without if it had been the same environment as Wednesday.
Camp, you said Smitty was explaining it to. Smitty said when you asked him a question earlier, he was explaining kind of the layout of the conference schedule this year, and I heard somebody a few minutes ago talking about it. A lot of Sunday games this season. Why the change with that?
Well, we're preseason. We were number 2, and so when ESPN looks at who they think is going to be good, they go Friday night as our league national game, right? I think we have 5 Friday nights that our league plays on national TV on either ESPN 2 or U, right? And so if you play on Friday, they got to move your game to Sunday. So they put the team and the games that they think ESPN, have they picked them already or not? No, they don't pick them until they see who's doing what. So they've got us on a lot of Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And that's just how it happens. But what Smitty was explaining is, normally you play Wright State and Northern Kentucky. We used to have travel partners. Mm-hmm. And the coaches voted against that. The coaches really, really didn't want travel partners. Green Bay and Milwaukee did. It was kind of a split vote. But most coaches didn't want travel partners because it's really difficult to play a Thursday and travel. In our league, you're going from Youngstown to Robert Morris, or from Northern Kentucky to Wright State, or from Green Bay to Milwaukee, or Fort Wayne to Indianapolis, so that, and you only get 1 day prep. And these games are so meaningful and so important that no coach wants to play on 1 day prep. I remember playing, I think we played Cleveland State on the road and then went to Fort Wayne a couple years ago, and the Cleveland State game was a brawl. And we got to Fort Wayne, and our kids came to practice on Friday, and they didn't want to move. They were beaten up. They were tired, and we were only playing 6 guys at the time, I think. And that cemented to me, we need to play Wednesday, Saturdays. And so there's a lot of those. Now there's not travel partners, and they're supposed to be 2 days in between games. It isn't always work out that way, but there are multiple games like that. So it used to be everyone was Thursday, Saturday. So from a coaching standpoint, we won the battle getting half of them that way. And so that's why you see that. Now it's not, okay, just because you're playing Northern, no, the schedule is set up. And the league office went out and they got a scheduling guru to come in, and everything that is done now. I'm actually part of the scheduling process.
Are you the scheduling guru, Camp?
No, I'm the coach that I don't get to vote or anything. Steve gets to vote, but I'm the guy that they ask questions to. So I go to these meetings and I'm like a small child. Don't speak unless you're spoken to, right? And so that's what I try and do, and I try and do it in the proper way and still try and get across what coaches want. And it's a hard thing because you put 11 league coaches in a room, they don't want the same thing. Right? They don't want the same thing. And most of those guys only want what's best for them. And most schools only want what's best for them. And that's why the dynamics of this are it's and next year we go to 12 teams. And that was a discussion in itself. I tell you, thank God for Steve, because I wanted 18 league games, because I want to play non-league. I want to play the schedule we play. I want to make the money we make. I want to be the number one ranked schedule. I want to play on national TV. I want everybody talking about Oakland. I want Oakland scrolling across the Oakland versus Michigan. I want that. So I didn't want 22 league games, and now we only get 10 non-league. I just didn't want that. Many coaches did. Some didn't. If I'm the coach at Green Bay, I can't get people to come to Green Bay and play. So if I play 22 league games, that's 11 home games I get. And so everybody's got a different, and nobody's right or wrong. They're fighting for what's best for them. That's what we do. And so I have to be a voice of reason. I talk to all the different coaches, and I have to be the guy that, does those things. And I will tell you, I think I'm pretty good at it. I do. I think I'm pretty good at it. I subscribe by the, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? I just want to be happy. So we do what we can do to get everybody happy.
Speaking of the Horizon League Camp, got about 2 minutes left. Your early impressions of the league. When you take a look, obviously, at the standings, Youngstown State's 2-0, Detroit Mercy is 2-0. What do you see so far out of the Horizon League?
There's no crappy team. There is no crappy team. Since we've been in this Division I, in every league we've been in, there's always been a couple teams at the bottom that are going through coaching changes, going through players, whatever, and you better win those 2 games, right, or those 4 games, because there's 2 of those teams. There's nobody like that this year. IU Indy won at Eastern Michigan, right? Green Bay beat Iona. I mean, Detroit's 2-0. Those teams that, you sit and look at that schedule and say, okay, over the last 7 or 8 years, these teams haven't been very good. And you got to win those. You got to now, every game. And then the top of the league, wow, it's really good. We were talking over here, the Milwaukee Robert Morris game the other day. The Milwaukee Robert Morris was at Green Bay, and they were down 15 with 2.5 minutes to go. They found a way to win. They found a way to win that game. I mean, they were down 15 with 2:40 or something like that left in the game, and they won. And you're going to see all year, it's going to be a battle. There's going to be a lot of hurdles knocked over. And we have to stay in the moment and play it one game at a time, and just stay focused on. And there is no, wow, if we can win these 2 games, we got this team, and boy, they're 0. I think we had a team last year only win 2 or 3 games the year before. I think Detroit didn't win a game or 1 game or something. 1-30 or something. That ain't happening this year. The league it's right now. I think in the net it's 17th in the country, where 2 or 3 years ago it was 24th or 25th. I mean, it is that we're doing against mid-majors. I saw a stat, and I don't know if it's right or not because I don't really believe everything I see on the internet. but it said we're 25-29 against mid-major like opponents, which the non-league's never been like that since we've been in the league. So it's going to be a brutal year in every game. I mean, Fort Wayne came in here and what they had done before they played us wasn't anything that we saw the Wednesday night. I mean, they really played good and then they went and they forget who they beat on Saturday, but they beat Northern Kentucky. Yeah, I mean, Northern Kentucky had won 7 in a row and was, everybody was preaching about Northern Kentucky being the top team, and nobody saw that coming, and then Fort Wayne beats them. And it was a very close game. And I think Northern Kentucky had a 15-point lead, and Fort Wayne came back and beat them. And, so am I 2 minutes over?
Not yet. We're getting there, though.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming out to Patti Finnegan's for the Coach Greg Kampe.
You had that look on your face like, shut up,
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was, I guess.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Bobby Allman back in our Odyssey studios.
Nick Pumford for the
cupcakes. Nick made those from scratch. Yeah. We'll talk to you next week, everybody. This is the Greg Kampe Show live from Patti Finnegan's on the campus of Oakland University.